John.
Hello.
Good
Hey
morning.
there.
Hi, this is Sean from Prague Ears. How are you? Thank you for taking the time to chat with us today. I really appreciate that.
Excellent.
Excellent. And how have you been spending your days lately during this unusual time?
Working on a lot of music. I realized in March when it all started. So I better get on with some work.
Well, it's given a lot of musicians extra time, so, I think there will be a lot of new albums coming out in the next 6 months because of the extra time we've had to work on them. So, exciting.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I wanted to chat with you a bit about the new album, or the most recent one, Thousand Hands, which is fantastic. And am I right that we have about 15 minutes today? Is that right?
Yeah. 20
Okay.
minutes or so.
Alrighty. Well, I'll try and move through these questions as quickly as possible.
No rush.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it. So I was telling my viewers about A Thousand Hands and what a stellar lineup you have on it. And that it kind of happened over the course of several years, that it started around the time of Union, 1990-ish, and then it kind of got shelved in your garage for a while, and it got resuscitated around 2006. Is that about right?
Yeah. 2017, 18.
Okay.
It was 2018 when Michael Franklin got in touch with me and said, he's a producer, and he said, you got the tapes in your garage, are they still there? And I said, yeah. He said, well, send them to me and I will put them into the computer and see what they sound like. I said, okay. And they actually sounded really, really good. And he had contact with Ian Anderson of Jethro Tull, and he got him to play on a track in the first 3 days. And I went, this is the way to go, Michael.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, I've always kind of thought it'd be interesting if the two Mr. Andersons got together, so I'm glad to see that he's playing on your record.
Yeah, I remember way back, there was a great guitar player in England. I think he was called James Anderson, Jimmy Anderson, or something like that. And I spoke with him and phoned up Ian. I said, let's get together with Anderson.
That sounds good. It almost sounds like a law firm, but, one that I would trust. Well, you have quite a stellar lineup on here. I just mentioned a few people, like Steve and Chris are both on here. And Larry Coryell, Rick Derringer, Stu Hamm, Billy Cobham, Chick Corea, John Luke Ponty. So many amazing players. Robbie Steinhardt from Kansas, Jonathan Cain from Journey. So, what a stellar cast. I'm wondering, were most of these people added once he resurrected the tapes and started working on them, or were some of these people added back in the early 90s when you started it?
Well, when we started it in 1990, I went down to LA because Chris Squire and Alan White were there, so I brought them to play on a couple of tracks. And I started thinking the idea of adding people along the way would be fantastic. But then life took over and I went on tour with Yes and other things happened. And my friend Brian Chatton, who wrote the songs with me, he went on tour with B.B. King. And other things happened in life. And when I spoke to Michael Franklin about the album, I said, if you know any musicians, he might have Billy Cobham to play on the track. And then he said, oh, I know Chick Corea, I know Tower of Power. And I said, okay, Michael, just do what you can do. And every other day, he put somebody new on it. And in fact, the last song, which is Now and Again, we got Steve Howe to play on the last song. And I was able to sing with Steve, which I haven't done for some 30 years, which was a really good feeling.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's just great to see you guys together. I'm not one that's going to pester you about getting back with Yes, because I kind of feel like we should just let things be. I'm really enjoying where you're at right now as an artist. If you get back with them, fine. But if not, you guys have given us more than most rock bands have. I mean, literally decades worth of wonderful records to enjoy. So,
I agree.
And
no problem.
yeah. So, but I was curious about this. Question crossed my mind. I was wondering if you hadn't split from Yes, if you hadn't parted ways back in the early 2000s, how different do you think your life would have been in the last 15 years?
Well, it depends, because there was a time when I left the band because of outside influences of the band. When a band is together, like brothers, musical brothers, and you don't listen to the manager, you don't listen to the producer, you don't listen to the record company, you get on with life. But when that outside influences keeps pounding on the door and make another roundabout, or why don't you do an album like Fragile, etc., etc., and so you let go of it. And then the next time I got back into the band was with 90125, which was a wonderful experience. But then again, it started off again. We wanted, can you do 90126? And I was always more adventurous, musically speaking.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no. Do you feel like everything kind of worked out for the best in the long run, though?
Oh yeah, gosh, yeah. I've never been happier in my life as I am now with my beautiful wife and my kids, my grandkids, and my musical dreams that I need to fulfill in the next 30 years. I've got so many things I need to do. I'm very excited.
Well, that's awesome. And, I think some things might not have happened, like ARW, had you stuck with Yes. So, it was wonderful to see you back with Rick and Trevor. So,
Yeah.
So,
game was good.
yeah, all's well that ends well.
At the end of the 80s, I was tired of talking about classic Yes music, so then I went and did ABWH, and we did an album which is very, very, very Yes music, like.
Oh, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I consider that a Yes album, in everything but name.
Me too.
So, yeah. So it's more Yesy than some of the albums that say yes. I think. Yeah. So,
Interesting.
I was speaking with Rick a few weeks ago, and we talked a bit about ARW, and, he filled me in on, what's been going on the past couple of years, and I'm really glad to hear that everybody's safe and healthy now. And I'm wondering, do you think there might be a time that you guys might be able to get back together and maybe do one final lap, so to speak?
I think it would happen if we made an album.
Okay. And you were kind of starting to do one. I remember like one song surfaced, and then that was kind of the end of it for that. Are there other songs that kind of were unfinished that are waiting to be done?
Again, it'll happen when it happens is my mantra.
Okay, well, at least that sounds like there's a possibility there's a future, so that's promising. That's great to know.
You never know.
I have a question for you. I was looking at some set lists, and I realized that, yes, there are certain songs they played over 1,000 times over the years, like I imagine Roundabout, and You and I, some of the biggies. And I'm wondering, do these songs and the way they feel on stage to you change over the years?
But they mature. As musicians mature, you play them a little bit more in command of the music. You let the music take over. With ARW, we were doing Awaken. It's not an easy piece of music, but we did it with love. And the energy that came from doing that show was powerful. Music, is timeless. And every time we did And You and I, it was always a dream. But I was lucky enough to do a show in Iceland, and the performances of the songs on that show with a band from Iceland, an orchestra, a choir, still magic, still Yes in my mind,
Yeah, I think so, and I think I think you kind of carry Yes with you wherever you go. I remember the first time I saw you. I'm like in my early 50s, so I didn't have the pleasure of seeing you when I was in my 70s. Or excuse me, I didn't have the pleasure of seeing you in 1970s. But saw you on the 90125 tour, and I was so impressed. I was more of a 70s Yes fan, but that concert really won me over and made me a fan of all Yeses. Because that was a really hot band, and
Yep.
and your energy on stage is so spiritual. I felt like, you walk out of a Yes concert and you just have this glowing feeling like you've experienced more than just a show. It's almost like, going to church or something, but not, but more spiritual than religious, I guess. And I'm just curious, do you feel like you're kind of channeling some really strong energy during your performances?
Well, I think most artists do that anyway, and most people do that anyway. In their lifespan, we're all spiritual beings. I just like singing about it. That's about it. So when I'm on stage, I'm in that twilight zone of making sure I'm standing up correct, making sure I'm moving well, I'm singing well, and the music is taking me on this beautiful ride, and I'm sure the audience is getting what I'm getting.
Oh, absolutely. And that was one of the magical things about a Yes show. It really left you feeling like you had been elevated in many ways, and I love that. So, tell us a bit about your vocals. Your voice still sounds amazing. I'm just wondering, do you have any routines that you go through to warm up, or just to kind of keep your voice in good shape?
I really just enjoy singing every day, and I was singing an hour ago. I'll be singing after we spoke. I have some singing that I need to do, and but I don't overdo it. There are times, if I have once a week I have a day off, like 2 days off, I'm cool.
Okay.
Generally, over the years, I sing almost every day.
Okay. Another thing, a lot of us really enjoyed watching the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony. I was wondering if you had any memories you could share from that night with us.
Well, I got on stage and I hyperventilated.
Well, I couldn't tell.
No, I was very happy that Rick started telling jokes. That really perfect timing. And basically the band rehearsed in the afternoon with the bass player. I forgot his name.
Oh, Geddy Lee. Yeah, Mr. Rush.
I think it was Eddie, and it's Geddy.
Geddy, yeah.
And Geddy was brilliant, and the band played great. And that was the main thing of being there, because you're with 10,000 people, and it's being filmed, and you're sort of feeling like, I hope I can sing okay. And then as soon as you get on stage and we start going through the intro for Ode of the Lonely Heart, a roundabout, I was locked in, I'm on stage, performing. I felt great.
Well, it was a wonderful moment, and I'm so glad that y'all had a chance to get together. I'm sorry the hall didn't get you in there before Chris passed away, because I think he really would have enjoyed it. But better late than never.
Yeah, I agree. But Chris was with us all the time. Still is.
Good point. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, I just got one more quick question here. One of my readers asked, what was the inspiration for Awaken? I know it kind of started to come together on the Relayer tour. I've heard some versions where it's just like the verse, and then it grew from there. I was curious how it came together and what inspired it.
Well, I was very interested to do a long-form piece of music. Me and Steve started the ball rolling, and me and Steve kept it going. Chris came along and brought some brilliant arrangements. And then Rick rejoined the band, and that's what was the icing on the cake from it. We could get Rick to get him into a church to perform on a gigantic church organ. And it was magical, and then we got a choir. Rick like magic, pure magic.
Well, it's one of my favorite Yes epics, and it's a kind of special one. You know, it's got some magic that the others, um, different from the others, I should say. It's very much a showcase for you and Rick in particular, I think, and it's just a beautiful song, and it live, it has such a majestic feeling that it's just great. Well, John, our 15 minutes has flown by, so I should probably let you go.
No, thanks a lot, Sean.
Hey, one more question before you go. What's the best place to get 1,000 Hands at?
Well, you can get it through Amazon, stream it through YouTube, iTunes, all sorts of different outlets.
Okay.
You can go to my JohnAnderson.com. There's a whole list on the page there.
All right. Well, excellent. Well, is there any parting words you'd like to share with our audience?
Well, wish you all well, be safe, be happy, and we're all very blessed to be alive at this moment in time. We're going to go through this year, and then next year it's going to be great for the rest of our lives.
That sounds good to me. Well, bless you, John. Thank you for taking time to talk with us today, and good luck on your future endeavors. We'll definitely be watching.
Well, Sean, take care.
All right. Take care, John. Bye-bye.